10,000 dead Japs is the box score on Guam as our men mop up the last hint of enemy resistance. American territory reconquered by General Howling Mad Smith and his men. Guam, despite the wreckage we wrought, means another death blow to Japan's hopes. The fanatic Jap resistance against American might brought death to most of these gangsters. The ceremony of raising Old Glory marks the end of all Jap resistance on the island. Guam is once more under the flag of freedom. Another step on the road to Nippon.
Deadly fragmentation bombs pierced Nazi lines, opening a road to Paris. Allied bombers blast roads. Overrunning the Breton Peninsula, General Omar Bradley's forces drive to the mouth of the Loire. Using the river as a protecting right flank, the Yanks head east. The main power of the Allied attack centers in our armored forces. Following in the wake of the air bombardment, they open a corridor for our ground forces. Shortly after these pictures were taken, Supreme Commander Eisenhower moved his headquarters to France. With the opening of strategic Atlantic ports to Allied shipping, the victory drive will gain added impetus. German casualties in France, dead, wounded, and captured, reached the staggering total of 250,000 men in 2 weeks. Wounded, both friend and enemy receive first aid. Fleeing Nazis are forced to use horses and wagons or any available equipment to escape the swift pressure as the attack spearheads to the 50-mile zone toward Paris. The crushing might of the Allied attack, Canadians on the north, English in the middle, and Yanks on the Loire, form a dagger pointed at the enemy in and around the French capital. Hundreds of Nazi armored vehicles and guns and thousands of trucks are abandoned by the fast retreating Germans. The liberation of France strikes a fast pace, a little too fast for some fellows. Everybody's happy now, with plenty of action.
Nazi robot bombs are compelling the British to use their underground shelters again. Huge, deep shelters, construction of which had been suspended when the Nazi blitzers were defeated, were rushed to completion to combat the present menace. Everyone takes it in stride, the babies and the adults. Such unconquerable spirit will never be down.
Under the supervision of the War Relocation Authority, this train arriving at Oswego, New York, is bearing 982 refugees from Hitler's total war. Admitted to the United States under presidential order, they will be housed at Fort Ontario until war's end. And are they happy? Coming from all parts of Europe under Nazi domination, many have suffered untold hardships in concentration camps before making their escape. Here at last is a haven in which to forget and to dream of a new life. An historical scene takes place at this typical American home in Palmer, Ohio. Mrs. Woodward of the Social Security Board arrives to present Mrs. Mary Thompson with her first Social Security benefits. These checks mark the 1 millionth made by the board. Through the deceased husband's $145 payment, benefits to this one family may total $15,000. This social reform is endorsed by all Americans.
$15,000 on hand to see the trotting classic, the Hambletonian. Yankee Maid, the favorite, is the center of attention as they get away in this Kentucky Derby of the harness world. Winning the first heat easily, Yankee Maid has no trouble in jumping into an early lead in the second heat as driver Henry Thomas lets her take over. Never pressed, Yankee Maid shows dainty heels to the field as she lengthens her lead and gives her backers a thrill as she steps down the home stretch heading for that first place purse of nearly $20,000. The People's Choice, the winner, every inch a lady.